Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk to you about why The Rock needs to be quiet and stop talking about Black Adam. I am begging you to stop. The Rock is literally just embarrassing himself. He's very desperate right now. And I don't blame him. He's pissed scared. Like he really is. He is going to look like the biggest idiot because of Black Adam and everything. He put all his chips in on the poker table and everything. And he basically lost in the biggest way possible. And he is just embarrassed right now. And he's embarrassing himself even more. And I feel for the dude. Like it is the thing. Like I said before, I don't hate The Rock. Like I was a fan of his in wrestling and stuff. I know it seems like I don't like him. That's not it at all. I think he was an awesome wrestler. He seems like a pretty cool guy, but he also seems like he can be a bit of a jerk. But for the most part, he seems like he can be pretty cool. But he has that arrogance and that ego. And when it comes to him, I've said this before, and I'm going to continue saying this until he can actually show me something. I still don't think he can act very well. He's a whole lot better than what he used to be when he first started, but for the most part, there's just something always been off with his acting. Many other people are now starting to see that. Thank God. And when it comes to me, like I'm not like I said before, I don't hate him, but it does sound like I'm salty towards him. But if there is any salt, this is the reason why. Like many people, I was a huge fan of him as a wrestler. The dude was just awesome. Even though Stone Cold was my favorite, he was like my second favorite and stuff. And then when Stone Cold broke his neck, he was out. I only had The Rock. I'm like, man, this dude's like awesome and everything. And then he left for Hollywood, but I was okay with that because he kept coming back until he finally stopped. And then I'm like, oh, dude, that sucks. I want to see you wrestle. But I understand he makes more money acting and huge fan base, and it's a passion of his, you know what I'm saying? So I don't blame him and everything. And then, so when I finally went to go watch one of his movies and be cool, I'm just like, dude, you cannot act. And then I saw clips from the Scorpion King, and I'm like, holy crap. You left wrestling for this? So it was more just like out of like ugness, you know what I'm saying? But I still wasn't like had no salt towards him until he guest starred on Hannah Montana. Now I don't watch Hannah Montana. I hate Hannah Montana. But he guest starred on that. I think he probably also guest starred on something else, but I'm not sure which one it was. But it was a Disney Channel show. And he played himself. And he said something that literally just pissed me off and disappointed me. I can't remember line from line, but he basically said acting was his first true like job and like being passionate about and stuff like that. And I'm just kind of like, wait, hold up. Acting wasn't your first job. I don't know what your first job was, but you were a wrestler for many years. And I'm just like, so have you literally just like abandoned like wrestling and stuff like that? And so I didn't understand why he said that. And of course it was scripted, but I don't believe for a second the writers are pretending to be him and wrote that for him. I believe he told them to say that. Like, they asked him a question and he answered and they just wrote that into the show. And I'm just kind of like, dude, you literally just pissed on your wrestling, like, legacy and everything. And I get it. Wrestling is scripted. There is a certain acting to wrestling, but it is still more of a professional sport, even though it is like, scripted and acted and stuff, but it's not truly like acting, you know what I'm saying? So that always rubbed me the wrong way, but I still liked him, but I was disappointed in him. And so with each passing movie that sucked, it just like, it was just kind of like irritating me because I kept thinking of that one thing he kept. Maybe I don't like him. Nah, I think he's all right. But I'm still just irritated by that thing he said because it's just like, that was like the biggest lie he ever told until now. And stuff. And it's just like, it's just like when I see his movies and I see he can't act that well and him talking about acting his like, his first real true job, passion, or whatever the world he said, I'm just like, dude, it's just like, I watched you for nothing for all those years. I raised my eyebrow for all those years for nothing. Like, like like I'm like everybody else, you pretend like you're a wrestler on TV, like all that for nothing, just for you to piss in my stinking face. And so that always irked me and stuff. But I do think he's a nice guy, but I also think he's a jerk and everything. He just has that jerk mentality to him because he thinks he's all that. And the thing about why I'm making this video is that he needs to get a grasp on reality and realize Black Adam did not do what he wanted it to do. I get it. He was passionate for years, almost 10 years making that movie. They put a lot of money in that. He bulked up so big, they had to alter his costume. He was big already. Why did he put on more muscles? Which is interesting because, it's still that debate. How is he that jacked, especially at 50 years old? You know what I'm saying? Like, I have asked the question that many other people have asked. How did he get that big exactly? Even good old JR, when talking about Bobby Lashley, he's all like, he don't know. But he's all like, you don't get that big just by eating chicken breast and everything. And I just don't know. And some of the celebrities are starting to ask that question too now. But like he's been very passionate about Black Adam. They put a lot of money in, They had that huge premiere and everything. He went, I think it was like, where was he? Somewhere in New York. That big, like, he was like talking to the crowd. But the thing about the whole Black Adam is that Dwayne Johnson has went back to The Rock. He's now acting like The Rock. He refuses to see failure and he'll say whatever just to make his ego happy and stuff. And, it was reported a couple of days ago that he was going to lose $100 million. Now, the movie is still making money because they went over to Japan just now. And it's out on digital for $20 stinking dollars. Why do that? And it's just going to be on HBO Max soon and Redbox. And it's going to be on DVD soon. So, it's going to make more money, just not digitally. Because once it goes to HBO Max, I don't know how much of a profit they get from that, but it's going to be on DVD sales soon, so it's going to make money that way. So it's still going to make money. It's just not going to make its money back, like fully and everything with the advertisement and stuff. And, this was a huge bomb for WB. David Zaslav thought it was going to be a blockbuster movie. I still haven't seen it yet, so I still can't judge it. But like, just by what people are saying about how like it copy and pasted from other movies, even the people at how it was supposed to or how it should have ended, even they poke fun and say he copied from other movies. That's just embarrassing, And all the money they spent on advertisement, it's not gonna make back its money. It might make a profit, but no matter what, it will be a financial bomb. It has taken too long for that movie just to make the amount of money that it needs just to skate by. And what's so sad is that he even tried to hop on the Black Panther Wakanda Forever success. When it was reported, every time these reports come out, he reads them and his ego gets like hurt and everything. And so he always tweets about crap, talking about like, that movie made so much money in 1 week, but he's all like, but that character was already established and nobody knew who like Black Adam was. No, Rob. Us DC fans know who Black Adam is. You don't know who Black Adam is. And so it's like, when he tweeted his support for Black Panther, he hashtagged Black Adam in the tweet, hoping that people would click on that. Just to so people be like, see, look, people are clicking on Black Adam. The dude is desperate, and I don't blame him. He has a lot riding on that and everything. He wanted to take over Warner Brothers in DC, but James Gunn and the Saffron, I still don't know who that dude is, they are now in charge. And they're not giving up the reins to The Rock, and he still has not congratulated them yet. And he hasn't even mentioned them yet. But what's really interesting is that tweet he put out about the whole it making a profit. But then I typed in something he said, and I put certain words in quotes because that's the thing that struck me the most. What he said can be taken in two completely different ways. Now, before it was announced that Saffron and Gunn took over, he said he was going to be the new hierarchy of DC Warner Media and everything. And Black Adam is going to propel this new hierarchy with a series of movies. And him and Superman is not going to be a one-off thing. They're going to be fighting in multiple movies and all this other crap, right? He was just bloating about a bunch of crap that, before I can't even get my words out straight. He was just talking a lot of crap. He was just talking a lot of crap. Doing what he did back in his wrestling days. It's like, dude, you're 50 years old. The Rock is gone until you go back and fight Roman Reigns, that is, for the Universal title. What you need to do, because you need your fan support again, because right now everybody's making fun of you. So anyway, and that's one thing before I get to finish what I was saying, that's one thing that helped his movies out back in the day. Even if it sucked, people were still on board with him because he went back to wrestling, and that helped boost him up and everything. But then, he left wrestling, and then people started to see a downfall in his movie. Because I remember one time, I turned on the TV, and he was in a movie with Sarah Michelle Gellar, and it was a weird movie somewhere near like a beach. I'm like, what the heck is this? He hasn't even promoted this. Nobody is talking about this. Like, what is this? Like an indie movie or something? Well, needless to say, it didn't do too well when I looked online and stuff. And when you look at a lot of his movies and you look at the box office numbers and then you look at the reviews and all this other stuff, they don't do very well. You know what I'm saying? I just want to point that out. Anyway, back to what he was saying. He's talking about he's going to be like the new hierarchy, stuff like that, right? But then he said something in his tweet towards the end when he started talking about Captain America, which, by the way, that came out about 10 years ago. More than 10 years ago. And, you can't even compare the two unless he wants to steal from that. Copy and paste. But anyway, he said something. I don't have my tablet or I'm not at the computer. So he said something about building our new franchise or building our franchise. And so I thought about that, and it was reported that they're thinking about making a Hawkman spinoff. So I'm like, okay, maybe he's talking about that. But then I stopped and I thought about it. I'm like, hold up. Did somebody not inform him that Black Adam is not its own solo project like the Joker and the Batman? And Black Adam is actually part of a franchise called the DC EU? Like, did nobody not tell him that? His movie is a franchise, part of a franchise already. So what is he building his own franchise of? It can't be that of it can't be that of Hawkman, because Hawkman is still part of the DCEU and it's part of that franchise. So it sounds like he thinks he's in control and everything, which made me stop and think about this. Is he trying to secede from DCEU, similar to how the South seceded from America? Is he trying to branch off in his own thing and think he's going to be running stuff on Black Adam and producing and everything and creating, his own universe? That's why I'm thinking. That's how I took that tweet. Because he has not congratulated James Gunn and Saffron yet. He's never going to do that until he knows for sure Black Adam is dead. And then he might still not do it. I truly believe he thinks in his head that Black Adam is so successful that somebody in Warner Bros. Gonna be all like, "Hey, look, man, cause he's gonna pull some strings. He pulled strings before with the whole Shazam thing, and also with the Henry Cavill thing. He went over Warner Brothers' head and brought Henry Cavill back. He truly thinks he can snap his fingers, raise that eyebrow, get whatever he wants, and then if he doesn't, slap somebody like he did Tyrese Gibson and stuff. And it's like, I truly believe he thinks he's gonna have his own project similar to the Batman, Matt Reeves, and the Joker. His own little shared universe that's broken off from the rest, and he can do whatever he wants with that. I truly believe that's what the man thinks. And this is how I'm interpreting that phrase in the tweet. Because, he needs to understand something. Zaslav went over his head, put in Saffron and Gunn, and he is not the new hierarchy of anything. And also remember he said a couple of weeks ago, we're taking baby steps. We're babies at this. We're new to this. It's a long process and blah, blah, blah. Well, it went from being you're the hierarchy to now you're a baby to now like you're finna secede from the DCEU. And this is really what it sounds like. It really sounds like he literally said, making our, building our new franchise. And I'm just kind of like, so I truly believe he's trying to pull one over on them and pull some strings to get what he wants. Because the writing's on the wall, and James Gunn is going to make a huge announcement next week about like the future of the DC movies and stuff. And a lot of rumors. This is why I haven't talked about those yet. There's a lot of rumors going around. Some rumors are saying they pulled the cameos from The Flash. Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Henry Cavill, Superman are no longer in The Flash. And, supposedly Wonder Woman 3 is dead. Supposedly Patty Jenkins and Jeff Jones, handed in a script and they said, nope. And stuff. And supposedly Aquaman comes out next year. Who cares? That's next year. Nobody wants to see that no more. And so so next week we're gonna find out what's really going on, and then people will truly know, and then it'll be fun to talk about it then. And so my thing is with The Rock is that he did not know the character. He did not know what fans want. He listened to too many people and too many wrong people, and he had 10 years and he tried to make the success off of other movies and stuff. And people didn't want that. They wanted something original. And the fans told him, plain and simple. DC fans told him, look, man, we want Black Adam in the first Shazam movie. He said, nope. And then, so we're like, all right, fine. We want him in the second movie. Nope. And then we're like, all right, fine. Then we want Shazam in the Black Adam movie and have Shazam be the villain. Nope. And then the Snyder Bros are all like, we want the Snyderverse back. And he's like, nope. And so I bet you anything when he, other than just saying nope and everything, I bet he probably said something similar to this. I'm going to try to do my best Rock impersonation from back when he used to talk in his Intercontinental days and stuff. Now let The Rock tell you this right here, right now. You Rudy Poos. Now The Rock says, know your role, shut your mouth. You take yourself down to Trebroni Lane. You check yourself into the SmackDown Hotel with your candy ass. The Rock says, and The Rock says, and The Rock says, and The Rock says, if you smell what The Rock is cooking. Now that's like early days, like how The Rock used to talk before he started changing it up and stuff. But, basically, that's what he told the fans. He told the fans, He's gonna do things his way and stuff, and it did not work in the eyes of the fans. And so, yeah. And it's like, I just wish he would stop tweeting. Just stop. Like, talk about something else, because he's starting to sound like Vin Diesel. Remember when Paul Walker sadly and tragically passed away? And Vin didn't say like nothing for like the longest time. And then people called him out on it. And then he finally started talking about it, but then he wouldn't shut up. This is kind of how The Rock is with Black Adam. Because it's kind of like, Hobbs and Shaw didn't do too well. His other movies aren't doing too well. He really thought he could hop into the comic book genre and really dominate, but that didn't do too well. And so now he's in a standstill and he's a little embarrassed. He probably has a couple of more movies coming out. And, he still has that Young Rock show that's on. And I don't think the Black Adam failure is going to affect that television show. I mean, it could. You never know. But, you know what I'm saying? But, he still has that. But, when you stop and look about it, look at it and stuff. Other than his movies, his TV shows are hit and miss as well. I haven't seen Young Rock, but that dude looks just like him and everything. And I've told you he had a show called Ballers for like 5 seasons. And I never heard nobody talk about that show. And I mean never. Never on Twitter. Never on YouTube. I don't even think people know that show is out, except for the people who actually watch it. And, and I don't know how he is in that. Maybe he's a better TV actor than he is a movie actor. But I did tell you a long time ago that he produced a YouTube like Red TV show. And I watched that show. And that show sucked. And it had a great premise. And everything was going smoothly until it got to the middle, and then it got to the end, and then it did not make absolutely no sense. They were trying to be different, but they tried to be too different. And nobody talks about that. And he has swept that under the rug and doesn't even mention that and stuff. And, because he knows it was a stinker and everything. And so I think he can do whatever he wants in Hollywood. If I was him, I would continue with the Young Rock show because people seem to enjoy that. I would stop producing movies. I would stop having things my way. We wanted the ears, the pointy ears. We wanted the hair. Some people even wanted the cape. But he didn't give us that. We wanted Shazam. He didn't give us that. And, I just don't even know how to end this. It's just like, he really needs to put his ego aside and listen and just admit he had a boo-boo. That's the nicest way to put it. He had, I don't want to say failure, you know what I'm saying? But he made a mistake, a misstep. And he would be a bigger man by admitting to it instead of thinking Black Adam's the greatest thing since like sliced bread and everything, or Maitland Ward like becoming a porn star from her Boy Meets World days, you know what I'm saying? And like seriously, like Maitland Ward, that's a hard stage name to say. Her real name's Ashley. Maitland Ward, look her up. She's from Boy Meets World and she ain't doing that no more. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.